Dr. Adrian Lee had always been known as one of the most respected physicians at Crestfall Medical Center in Singapore. Common emergencies, trusted by patients, and admired by colleagues. He lived a life that seemed perfect from the outside, but behind the white coat and polite smile, a dangerous secret was taking shape. It began when Mia Cortez, a young Filipina nurse, joined the hospital's surgical ward. She was efficient, caring, and always the last to leave after long shifts. Adrian noticed her dedication, then her soft laugh, then the way she looked at him when she thought no one was watching. What started as harmless admiration turned into late-night conversations, then into something both of them knew was forbidden. For months, their affair remained hidden. Stolen moments in empty corridors, encrypted messages, and weekend trips where neither used their real names. Adrian promised he would fix everything soon, though he was married and deeply afraid of the consequences. Mia believed him, convincing herself that love justified the risks she was taking. But secrets have a way of slipping through cracks. When Adrian suddenly pulled away, canceling their meetings, ignoring her messages, creating distance, Mia panicked. She felt used, discarded, and betrayed. Rumors had begun spreading inside the hospital, and he feared exposure more than losing her. Mia's heartbreak slowly transformed into anger. One night, while reorganizing patient files, she stumbled upon a report that made her hands tremble. It was an HIV-positive test belonging to a patient who shared striking similarities with someone Adrian had been treating privately. Her thoughts spiraled. She confronted him, but he dismissed her, refusing to explain anything. That night, something inside Mia changed. Love turned to fury, betrayal turned to obsession, and the quiet hospital corridors would soon witness the beginning of a nightmare no one saw coming. Mia's mind became a battlefield. Every memory of Adrian, every promise, every touch twisted into something darker. She replayed their final argument over and over. His cold expression, his refusal to acknowledge her, the way he walked away without looking back. She felt like a discarded secret, someone he used and then erased from his life. Desperate for answers, she began digging into his patient records, carefully bypassing security logs. What she found was even worse than she expected. Adrian had been hiding more than an affair. He had been treating a private patient with advanced HIV, a case he had deliberately kept off the hospital's main system. Why? Fear, shame, blackmail. She didn't know, but what shattered her completely was learning that Adrian himself had undergone confidential blood tests. Some entries were deleted, others encrypted, but one remained visible, a result that made her knees weak and reactive. Her world collapsed. Had he known? Was she at risk? Had he exposed her intentionally? These questions consumed her until they merged into a single terrifying idea. He ruined my life. Now I will ruin his. Her behavior changed in the hospital. Quiet, watchful, calculating. She followed Adrian's schedule, memorized his routines, and noted every place he visited alone. She even visited the private clinic where his HIV patient was being treated, pretending to be a family relative seeking old records. Piece by piece, she reconstructed a puzzle that pointed to one truth. Adrian had been hiding the diagnosis even from his own family. Mia's isolation fed her anger. She drafted anonymous letters, created fake accounts, and recorded emotional voice notes she considered sending to his wife. Each night, she stood before her mirror, whispering the words she would use to destroy him. But revenge is not a straight path. It is a slow poison. And Mia was already too far gone to turn back. The final breaking point came on a rainy Thursday evening. Adrian had left the hospital early, heading to a private hotel where he thought no one would recognize him. Mia followed him quietly, her footsteps steady, her pulse fierce. She watched him enter a room with another woman, a patient's relative he'd been counseling. Jealousy and rage ignited together. In that moment, her revenge transformed from a plan into action. Over the next week, anonymous emails began arriving at Adrian's home, workplace, and even to the hospital board. They contained medical reports, screenshots, and accusations that threatened his career. Each message was carefully crafted to appear as if written by different people. Panic spread through the hospital like wildfire. Adrian tried to trace the source, but Mia was always one step ahead. She manipulated logs, erased evidence, and fed rumors through staff circles. His colleagues began distancing themselves. Patients filed complaints. His wife confronted him in the middle of the hospital lobby, but Mia wasn't finished. One night, she approached Adrian in the parking lot. He looked exhausted, frightened, and defeated. "Why are you doing this?" he pleaded. She stared at him with cold, steady eyes. "You destroyed me first." Her final move was the most devastating. She leaked his confidential HIV status to authorities and media outlets, framing it as a public safety concern. It exploded into headlines, investigations, and disciplinary hearings. His entire world collapsed within days. But the horror didn't end. Authorities discovered unauthorized access to patient data. Mia's digital trail, once invisible, began to appear. Her revenge had spiraled so far that even she couldn't control it anymore. Adrian's career was over. Mia's freedom was hanging by a thread. Two lives, once connected by desire, had become trapped in a nightmare of betrayal, secrets, and consequences. In the end, there were no winners, only the remains of a story that began as love and ended as destruction.